Snap.
Whoa, very fierce. I was a beneficiary from SINDA, and then it was a mandatory program for myself. And so when I met Amin, it was during the COVID period. So in fact, funnily enough, this is our first time meeting in real life, so it's quite a historical moment for us.
I think the first time that I met, and it was also, I think was one of the first lessons. I was late, you know.
I would say he made an impression in the workshop because everybody was sitting down, then suddenly you get somebody that come in, was very apologetic, so that's okay. But then I think he had to leave a bit earlier as well, so I was like, wow, who's this guy? But then I went to Google and spoke to him after that, and I was like, okay, like, it's a interesting guy, good idea, so then we just decided to mentor him lah. Okay, so you just put out like that lah.
I just like that.
Okay.
Snap! Oh.
Oh my god, suddenly the competitive nature just came out. I'm sorry.
You know what, you quite fast.
So I will pick one question, I guess. Why were you looking to be mentored or to be a mentor? I think why I wanted to be a mentor because I went through this entrepreneurship journey over 6 years ago, and I think there were a lot of things that I would, looking back, I would have learned differently. And if I had a choice, if I had a mentor to guide me along, I think the journey would be a lot smoother. So thinking back now that I have a bit more knowledge, a bit more experience, then that's where I think it's useful to also share some of these learnings and experiences with other people who are just on this journey. Yeah.
Is that? Oh yes, finally!
That's the competitive instinct coming out.
Thanks for holding back. How did the first mentoring session go? I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty awkward because it was a guy that was mentoring me, so I was like, oh my goodness, is it gonna be a bit awkward? Are there topics that we can't talk about? And I really hope to be really organic and authentic with him. During the first session itself, I think he made it really comfortable for me, and that is why subsequent sessions was easier.
Snap.
Whoa, very fierce.
Got it. Okay. There you go. Says similarities, differences between your mentor and mentee. So obviously there's this thinking like, don't you know what I want in my business and whatnot? But I think when we met, we clicked immediately. It's almost, I would say that almost symbiotic, because I think he can probably finish off my sentence. So even when we speak about how we should be raising funds, how we should be doing our deck, and how we should improve on it. So it's something that I agree quickly. I would say it's rare for someone to have that kind of thinking together. So really appreciate that, and it helps me to get our business plan out properly as well.
Oh, got a question. Okay, through this mentoring experience, as a mentor, I think one of the main skill that I learned was skill of listening, because I think as a mentor, it's not just about sharing my experience and not just about myself, but it's rather listening to what Pearline has to say and then what she has to share. So I would really say the key skill that I learned would be active listening and a lot of communication also. Yeah.
Wow. Every time you reach me is, why does it look so unstable? Okay, this is...
Oh, it's really a question. I think personally my expectations were relatively low because I never, in a sense, experienced a mentoring relationship before to know what it truly entails. Yeah, so I mean, I had to just meet a certain requirement. So I went in expecting it to be like to just get by. Yeah, but I think in reality, actually, we became really fruitful. I think we built like a really good, authentic relationship. And I think beyond the mentoring, I think he was a very good friend as well. yeah, I think he gave me Christmas present. Wow, then my mom's like, wow, so sweet. We have to find this kind of mentor. Yeah, so I think like the reality of mentoring can be actually not so daunting.
When I go into mentoring, as much as possible, I try not to have any expectations because you really don't know like the people and everything. So for me, going in is like, okay, how can I make sure that I can value it more rather than just being a sounding board for him.
I do think that mentoring is very essential in someone's journey to employment, especially.
Having that mentor, they will be able to impart that experience, to impart that learning journey, to elevate and be better yourself.
I think sometimes you may know what you want, but you may not know how to get there. And then if you have a mentor, they may be able to at least push you in the right direction.
Being a mentor especially is to also be vulnerable. But I think it's also important to know what you don't know so that you still be able to learn new things.
Thanks for watching this video. If you'd like to see more, don't forget to click on the subscribe button and the notification bell.